Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to reveal to you a secret so simple, yet so powerful, that those who understand it call the results miraculous. This is not magic, this is not wishful thinking. It is a mental technique that aligns your inner consciousness with the divine order of abundance, health, and joy. The world has taught you to look outward, to struggle, to strive, to push, and to wrestle with circumstances. But the miracle is born within, in the quiet stillness of your mind, where your thoughts shape your reality and your words carry the power to command the universe. The first step in this technique is recognition. You must recognize that your mind is the garden and your thoughts are the seeds. Every worry, fear, doubt, and complaint you harbor is a seed that bears fruit according to its nature. If you plant seeds of scarcity, illness, or failure, that is exactly what you will harvest. The miracle begins when you deliberately choose seeds of faith, gratitude, and abundance. Each thought must be consciously selected. Each word must be carefully spoken. For the universe responds not to idle wishes, but to definite convictions. Next comes the art of declaration. Words are not merely sounds. They are carriers of energy. Speak only that which you desire. Speak as though it is already done, and speak with unwavering faith. Do not allow your lips to utter fear, anxiety, or complaint, for these are the weeds that choke the garden of your mind. Instead, affirm health when illness tempts you, affirm prosperity when lack surrounds you, and affirm harmony when chaos appears. The miracle is in the spoken word, in its ability to shape the unseen forces around you. Repetition with feeling plants these seeds deeper into your consciousness, until the outer world responds as naturally as a tree bearing fruit in season. Equally important is the practice of visualization. The mind cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and reality. Close your eyes and see, with every detail, the life you desire. Feel the joy, the relief, the satisfaction of having what you wish. Your emotions act as the sun and water to these mental seeds, nurturing them until they grow and blossom. Visualization is not idle fantasy. It is training the subconscious to accept only what is harmonious, constructive, and prosperous. By seeing it clearly, your inner mind begins to organize your outer world to match that image. The next element, and perhaps the most overlooked, is faith. Faith is not hoping that something might happen. It is the absolute knowing that the perfect outcome is already unfolding. The mind moves toward what it believes, and the universe conspires to make that belief tangible. Doubt is the destroyer of miracles. It uproots the seeds before they have time to grow. Faith is steady, persistent, and unwavering. When you cultivate faith, you are no longer a beggar pleading for blessings. You are a magnet for the divine order that surrounds all life. Finally, release. After you have sown the seeds, spoken the words, visualized the reality, and anchored it with faith, you must release all attachment to the outcome. Do not strain, do not worry, and do not attempt to force the results. The miracle occurs when you allow the infinite intelligence of the universe to arrange the details according to perfect timing and wisdom. Trust that the unseen forces are at work, orchestrating every step in your favor. The act of letting go is itself a powerful affirmation that your desire is fulfilled, for it acknowledges the higher mind as the ultimate director of events. This mental technique, recognition, declaration, visualization, faith, and release, is called a miracle because its results defy ordinary expectations. People who have mastered it do not struggle, they flow. They do not chase, they attract. Their lives become a reflection of inner harmony, joy, and abundance. And you too can experience this. It is not hidden knowledge, not reserved for a select few. It is the birthright of every soul, willing to master the mind and align with divine law. Remember always that the outer world is but a mirror of your inner consciousness. When you learn to govern your mind, to speak with authority, to see with clarity, to believe without wavering, and to release with trust, you step into the miraculous. Every circumstance bends to the will of your consciousness. There is no limit to the good that can flow into your life, once you understand that the miracle is not in some external magic, but in the power you already hold within. The human mind is the most powerful instrument you possess, yet most people use it only partially, leaving its miraculous potential dormant. Every thought you think, every word you speak, carries with it a vibration that reaches beyond the visible world and imprints itself upon the invisible forces that govern your life. This is not mere theory, it is a law as definite as the law of gravity. When you understand this principle, you begin to see that your mind is not a passive instrument, but an active, creative force capable of shaping circumstances, opportunities, and outcomes in ways that often appear miraculous to those who have not learned to harness it. The first step in mastering this technique is to recognize that your mind is like a fertile garden, and your thoughts are the seeds you plant. Every worry, every fear, every complaint, and every negative assumption is a seed that will grow and bear fruit, just as surely as a seed dropped into the earth produces vegetation. If you plant seeds of scarcity, lack, illness, or limitation, the result will inevitably be a harvest that mirrors those seeds. Conversely, when you deliberately choose thoughts of abundance, health, joy, and success, you plant seeds that will manifest as prosperity, opportunity, and well-being. The miracle begins when you consciously decide which seeds to plant. To harness this power, you must become intensely aware of the quality of your thoughts at all times. Most people are unaware of the constant chatter of the mind, the unguarded complaints, and the habitual negative assumptions that fill their consciousness daily. It is these unnoticed patterns that often create the circumstances they so desperately wish to avoid. The mind operates like a magnet, drawing experiences that match the predominant thoughts you hold. Therefore, the first act of the mental technique is recognition, seeing clearly the nature of your own mind and its constant activity. You must observe your mental dialogue, noting the words you think and speak, because these words are more than casual expressions. They are commands sent to the universal intelligence that responds to your inner state. By becoming aware of these mental patterns, you gain the ability to choose differently, to plant seeds that align with your highest desires rather than your deepest fears. Once awareness is established, the next step is deliberate thought control. This does not mean suppressing your thoughts unnaturally, nor does it mean engaging in wishful thinking that ignores reality. It means consciously selecting thoughts that serve your purpose, that align with what you wish to experience. Every time you feel the pull of fear, anxiety, or doubt, you must immediately replace it with a thought of faith, courage, and certainty. This requires practice, persistence, and vigilance, because the mind tends to drift into old, habitual patterns. The miracle is not in wishing for change, but in the deliberate act of thought substitution, replacing every negative or limiting thought with one that is constructive and expansive. This is the first true step toward commanding the forces of the universe, because energy follows thought, and the universe responds to the dominant currents of your consciousness. Equally essential is understanding the vibrational nature of words. Words are not merely sounds. They carry energy and have the power to shape reality. When you speak negatively, complain, or voice doubts, you are sending instructions to your subconscious mind and to the unseen forces of creation that mirror these vibrations in your external circumstances. Conversely, when you speak affirmations of health, wealth, peace, and joy, you are reinforcing positive seeds within your mental garden, giving them strength to grow and manifest. This is why so many who pray, affirm, or speak positively find rapid results. The words are not magical in themselves, but they are powerful because they direct the focus and energy of the mind, which in turn interacts with the universal intelligence to bring those words into reality. The miracle occurs when words and thoughts are aligned, when your inner convictions match your outer expressions, creating a seamless current that cannot be denied. The process requires both patience and discipline. You cannot expect immediate transformation if your thoughts remain inconsistent, scattered, or contradictory. The mind responds to patterns, not isolated incidents. Therefore, it is imperative to cultivate a habit of consistently choosing thoughts that reflect the reality you desire. This may involve daily practices such as affirmations, mental rehearsals, or simply a conscious monitoring of your thought patterns throughout the day. It is through repetition and sustained focus that the seeds of your desires take root and begin to manifest. The universe does not favor confusion or indecision. It responds with perfect precision to the clarity and persistence of your inner mental state. A crucial element in this technique is the conscious elimination of negative influences. Just as a gardener removes weeds to allow healthy plants to flourish, so must you remove negative thoughts, toxic beliefs, and destructive speech from your consciousness. These mental weeds compete with the seeds of your desires and can choke them before they have a chance to grow. You may encounter situations, people, or circumstances that tempt you to fall back into old thought patterns. But your success depends on maintaining mental sovereignty. Every time you recognize a negative thought, immediately replace it with a constructive one, reinforcing the seeds of abundance and well-being. This practice not only changes the external conditions of your life, but it gradually transforms your inner character, making you more confident, resilient, and aligned with the principles of prosperity and harmony. It is also important to understand that your mind is always in communication with a higher intelligence, whether you call it the universe, God, or divine order. This intelligence responds to the dominant frequency of your thoughts and words. By maintaining clarity, positivity, and faith, you ensure that your instructions are received accurately and acted upon without resistance. Conversely, conflicting, scattered, or negative thoughts create confusion, delay, and frustration. Therefore, mastery of your mind requires careful attention, deliberate selection of thoughts, and the understanding that every thought and word has consequence. The miraculous results often come silently, as small shifts in circumstances that gradually accumulate into dramatic transformations. Another aspect of this technique is gratitude. When you focus on what you already have and express sincere appreciation, you enhance the power of your thoughts and words. Gratitude magnifies the positive vibrations, reinforces the mental seeds of abundance, and attracts additional blessings into your life. It is not enough to merely desire, you must recognize, acknowledge, and rejoice in the good that is already present. This mental attitude amplifies the effectiveness of your thoughts, creating a fertile environment in which miracles can grow. Those who consistently practice gratitude find that opportunities, resources, and solutions appear almost effortlessly, as if the universe itself is responding to their acknowledgement and appreciation. Equally significant is the power of focus. The mind cannot serve two masters at once. When you scatter your attention on fears, doubts, or competing desires, you dilute the energy available to manifest your chosen outcome. The miracle occurs when you concentrate your thoughts, align your words with those thoughts, and maintain this alignment consistently over time. Focus strengthens the seeds of your desires, ensures that your mental energy is directed precisely, and prevents the intrusion of negative or contradictory forces. Through focus, the mind becomes a laser-like instrument, capable of piercing through obstacles and shaping reality in ways that appear supernatural to the untrained observer. In all of this, the essential truth remains. Your mind is a creative instrument, capable of producing results that defy ordinary expectation. The miracle is not an external gift. It is the natural consequence of disciplined thought, purposeful speech, vigilant attention, and alignment with universal principles. Those who understand this technique quickly realize that external circumstances are merely reflections of internal states, and that by mastering their inner mental gas, they can transform every area of life, health, wealth, relationships, and personal fulfillment. The process requires no special conditions, no elaborate rituals, no extraordinary talent. It requires only the willingness to observe, choose, affirm, and maintain focus, knowing that the universe is ever responsive to the patterns you create within your mind. Visualization is one of the most powerful tools available to the human mind. Yet it is vastly underutilized. Many people fail to understand that the mind cannot distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is physically real. When you picture a situation with clarity and feeling, your subconscious mind begins to accept it as fact, and your outer circumstances begin to align with this inner reality. This is not a matter of luck, coincidence, or wishful thinking. It is a precise mental technique that has produced extraordinary results for those who practice it consistently. Visualization is more than daydreaming. It is a deliberate, focused act of creation in which your mind acts as both architect and builder, shaping a reality that mirrors the image you hold within. The first step is to create a clear and definite mental picture of what you desire. The image must be detailed, precise, and imbued with the emotion of already having it. Vague or half-formed images do not communicate effectively with the subconscious mind, which responds only to clarity and conviction. When you can see your goal clearly in your mind's eye, you send a strong signal to the universal intelligence that governs the manifestation of all things. Feeling is the next essential element in this technique. Visualization without emotion is like planting seeds in barren soil. They may never grow. Your emotions act as water and sunlight, nurturing the seeds planted in your mental garden. As you picture your desire, immerse yourself fully in the feelings associated with its fulfillment. Experience the joy, satisfaction, relief, or excitement, as though the goal is already accomplished. Let your heart swell with gratitude, your spirit lift in delight, and your mind rest in the certainty of success. This emotional engagement is what transforms a mere image into a living, vibrating reality within your subconscious. And it is this vibration that begins to magnetically attract corresponding circumstances in the physical world. The mind does not simply think, it resonates, and this resonance carries power that can influence outcomes far beyond what you might imagine. Consistency is critical. Visualization is not a one-time act, nor should it be treated as a fleeting exercise. The subconscious mind responds to repeated impressions. By practicing visualization daily, ideally at a consistent time and in a quiet space, you deepen the impression of your desired outcome. The mind begins to internalize the image as truth, and gradually, the external world bends to match this internal certainty. The effect is cumulative, much like water dripping steadily onto stone, eventually shaping it. Each session of visualization strengthens your mental conviction, reinforces your emotions of fulfillment, and increases the clarity with which your subconscious mind organizes the circumstances necessary to bring your desire into reality. Inconsistent or distracted visualization produces weak signals that may be ignored or delayed, which is why disciplined practice is essential. Mental rehearsal is a particularly effective form of visualization. Imagine yourself navigating the steps required to achieve your goal with confidence, ease, and grace. Picture each action, decision, and interaction unfolding perfectly. See yourself overcoming challenges effortlessly and responding to obstacles with calm, assured intelligence. By mentally rehearsing success in vivid detail, you condition your mind to perform in alignment with your vision. The subconscious does not differentiate between imagined rehearsal and real experience. It accepts what is vividly pictured and prepares your mental and emotional faculties to act accordingly. This prepares you to recognize opportunities, make the right choices, and take inspired action when the physical circumstances arise, making the miracle of manifestation appear almost seamless. The environment in which you visualize also matters. Choose a quiet, comfortable space where you can focus without distraction. Eliminate interruptions, silence unnecessary noise, and create a mental sanctuary conducive to deep concentration. Some find it helpful to close their eyes and breathe slowly, allowing the mind to settle into stillness before beginning visualization. Others use gentle music, soft lighting, or a meditative posture to enhance the experience. The key is to create a setting that allows your mind to enter a state of calm receptivity, free from external distraction, so that the mental images can take root firmly in your subconscious. Belief and expectation must accompany every visualization session. It is not enough to picture what you desire. You must also know without doubt that it is attainable and inevitable. Doubt weakens the signal sent to the subconscious mind, creating resistance that delays manifestation. Faith strengthens the process, reinforcing the mental images and emotions with unwavering certainty. Approach visualization with the knowing that your inner world is already complete, that the outer world is simply catching up with the reality you have created within. This combination of vivid imagery, strong feeling, and absolute belief is what produces results that others often call miraculous, because the transformation happens so effortlessly and natural. Once the inner conditions are fully established, integration with daily life amplifies the power of visualization. Your thoughts, words, and actions throughout the day should reflect and reinforce the images you hold in your mind. Speak affirmations consistent with your vision, act in ways that support its realization, and maintain emotional alignment with the feeling of already having it. The universe responds not to isolated mental exercises, but to the totality of your consciousness. When your thoughts, words, feelings, and actions are coherent and harmonious, your inner image radiates a consistent vibration that organizes circumstances and opportunities to match. Any dissonance, such as contradictory thoughts or negative speech, diminishes the effectiveness of visualization, which is why alignment in all aspects of consciousness is essential. Overcoming resistance is another aspect of effective visualization. Often, old patterns, limiting beliefs, or deep-seated fears will rise to the surface during the process. These internal blocks can manifest as skepticism, distraction, or inner conflict. Acknowledge these obstacles without giving them power, and gently redirect your attention to the desired image. Every thought you allow to linger is a seed. Choose carefully which seeds you nurture. The miraculous results come not from ignoring challenges, but from maintaining focus on the vision, holding your emotional alignment, and reinforcing your faith in the outcome despite any temporary internal turbulence. Visualization also benefits from detailed sensory involvement. The more senses you engage, the stronger the impression on your subconscious. Imagine not only how your desired outcome looks, but how it sounds, smells, feels, and even tastes if applicable. The mind responds more readily to experiences that are rich and multidimensional. By engaging all senses in your mental creation, you transform the image from a flat idea into a living experience, one that your subconscious accepts as real and begins to orchestrate outwardly. The more immersive your visualization, the more powerfully it influences your reality, accelerating the alignment of external circumstances with your inner vision. Gratitude and acknowledgement enhance visualization further. As you picture your desired outcome, feel deep gratitude as though it is already yours. Gratitude amplifies the positive vibration, reinforces faith, and signals to the subconscious that the goal is not only possible but already in motion. A mind that combines vivid imagery, strong emotion, and heartfelt gratitude sends a powerful directive to the universe, ensuring that the seeds you have planted in the mental garden grow steadily and manifest in the outer world. The miraculous aspect of visualization lies in its ability to bypass doubt, fear, and apparent limitation, creating a seamless path between imagination and reality. The process requires persistence, patience, and trust. Results may not appear instantly, but the unseen forces are always at work. As long as you maintain clarity of image, intensity of feeling, and unwavering belief, the circumstances necessary to fulfill your vision begin to align. Sometimes the changes are subtle at first, new thoughts, opportunities, or people appearing in your life. But these initial signs are confirmations that your mental efforts are producing results. Continued practice strengthens the alignment, bringing more significant, tangible manifestations that reflect the clarity, emotion, and faith you have cultivated in your mind. Faith and release are the twin pillars upon which the miraculous unfolds in your life. Many seek results through effort alone, striving, pushing, and controlling, yet fail to realize that the universe responds most powerfully when you align your inner state with certainty and then let go of attachment to the outcome. Faith is not wishful thinking. It is the inner knowing that the perfect solution, the exact answer, and the precise manifestation are already in motion, even if unseen. When you hold this knowing, your mental energy is no longer scattered in doubt, fear, or impatience. It is focused, coherent, and resonant, sending a clear signal to the unseen intelligence that governs all life. The first step is cultivating unwavering belief in the fulfillment of your desire. This belief is not dependent upon visible evidence, external validation, or the approval of others. It is anchored in your consciousness, in the certainty that what you need, what you have envisioned, and what you are worthy of is already on its way to you. The universe does not distinguish between what you think is possible and what you believe is inevitable. Your faith sets the stage for manifestation, acting as a magnet that draws the circumstances, people, and resources necessary to bring your vision into reality. To strengthen this faith, it is essential to align your emotions with your beliefs. Doubt and worry weaken the vibration of certainty and create resistance that can delay the fulfillment of your desire. Whenever you feel fear, anxiety, or hesitation, you must immediately acknowledge it and replace it with a mental and emotional state of trust and confidence. Feel the peace and satisfaction of knowing that everything is orchestrated perfectly, even if the details are not yet visible. Faith is reinforced when your feelings echo your thoughts, creating harmony between mind and heart. The subconscious mind responds to emotion more readily than to reason alone, which is why cultivating the feeling of fulfillment is crucial. When you feel the reality of your desire is already achieved, your inner world begins to align with this truth, and the outer world follows naturally. Equally important is the practice of release. After you have planted your thoughts, spoken your words, visualized your outcome, and anchored it with faith, it is essential to relinquish attachment to how, when, and where the manifestation will occur. This does not mean abandoning your desire or taking a passive attitude. Rather, it is an acknowledgement that the universe operates according to laws and intelligence, far greater than your individual effort. When you release attachment, you stop interfering with the natural flow of events and allow the unseen forces to orchestrate circumstances in perfect timing and order. Release is a form of trust, a surrender to the infinite wisdom that knows the best path to fulfillment. By letting go, you free your mind from struggle, your heart from anxiety, and your energy from resistance, allowing the miracle to unfold without obstruction. Faith and release also protect your mental garden from weeds of doubt and negativity. When you constantly monitor and reinforce belief, and when you relinquish attachment, you prevent old patterns, fears, or conflicting desires from undermining your efforts. Many fail to experience the miraculous because they attempt to control every step, becoming anxious when results do not appear immediately. This anxiety creates vibrations of impatience, which repel the very circumstances they seek. By practicing release, you maintain a state of inner calm, peace, and expectancy, which strengthens the signal of faith sent into the universe. This alignment ensures that your desires are not only recognized, but actively supported by the universal intelligence. Gratitude is a companion to faith and release. As you hold unwavering belief in the fulfillment of your desires and release attachment to timing or method, cultivate a spirit of gratitude for the invisible orchestration already at work. Gratitude enhances your vibration, amplifies your faith, and creates a receptive state in which miracles naturally occur. By expressing appreciation for what is unfolding, even if not yet visible, you reinforce the alignment of your inner world with your desired reality. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack or limitation to abundance and fulfillment, signaling to your subconscious mind and the unseen forces that you are ready to receive and capable of accepting the good that is coming. Another aspect of this practice is patience. Faith and release require trust in divine timing, understanding that every event, opportunity, and encounter is coordinated perfectly to bring the outcome to you at exactly the right moment. Impatience, worry, or forceful effort can disrupt this natural flow, creating tension and resistance that delay results. Patience does not mean inactivity. It means maintaining alignment with your vision while trusting that the universe is arranging the circumstances in your favor. During periods of waiting, continue to affirm, visualize, and feel the reality of your desire. Let each day reinforce your conviction that fulfillment is inevitable, allowing faith to deepen and release to become effortless. It is also essential to act when inspired. Faith and release do not imply passivity. Rather, they create clarity and receptivity. That allow you to recognize opportunities and take inspired action without strain or compulsion. Actions guided by intuition, alignment, and inner knowing are far more effective than those driven by fear, desperation, or impatience. The miraculous often appears through small, timely steps taken with confidence and trust, each one guided by the intelligence you have aligned with through faith and release. By acting in harmony with your inner convictions, you reinforce the signal of belief and accelerate the manifestation process. Visualization complements faith and release by strengthening the inner certainty of fulfillment. As you hold the image of your desired outcome in your mind, feel it with emotion, and trust it completely, you cultivate a mental state in which release is natural. When the mind is saturated with the certainty of the vision, there is no need to cling or worry, because the image itself is already established in the subconscious. The outer circumstances then follow naturally, as the universe responds to the inner alignment you have created. Faith, visualization, and release work together in harmony, each reinforcing the other, creating a state of mental and emotional coherence that is irresistible to the forces of creation. Faith and release also cultivate inner peace and resilience. When you understand that the universe is working on your behalf, you are no longer tossed by every challenge, delay, or obstacle. You maintain equilibrium, knowing that each experience is part of a larger orchestration designed to bring your vision to completion. This calm, centered state not only supports manifestation, but also enhances your ability to navigate life with grace, confidence, and clarity. The mind that trusts and lets go is free to recognize opportunities, make inspired decisions, and respond creatively, whereas the mind that doubts and clings is trapped in limitation and struggle. The miraculous nature of faith and release lies in their ability to create effortless results. When your inner world is aligned with belief, emotion, visualization, and gratitude, and when you relinquish attachment to outcome and timing, the universe responds with perfect coordination. Circumstances, people, and resources move into place without strain. Obstacles dissolve or shift, and solutions appear in ways that seem impossible to the untrained eye. This effortless manifestation is what many call a miracle, yet it is simply the natural response to inner alignment, clarity, and trust. The power to create miracles is not distant, external, or rare. It resides within you, accessible the moment you choose to cultivate unwavering faith and release attachment. By practicing faith and release consistently, you cultivate a mental environment in which the miraculous becomes habitual. Challenges are met with trust, opportunities are recognized and acted upon with confidence, and desires are fulfilled without struggle. Your inner world becomes a magnet for outer abundance, peace, and joy, reflecting the state of certainty and surrender you maintain within. This mental discipline transforms your life, enabling you to navigate circumstances with clarity, maintain emotional balance, and experience the fulfillment of your deepest desires. Those who understand this principle recognize that miracles are not random events, but the natural outcomes of a mind aligned, believing, and free from attachment.